Cincinnati, a city known for its interesting and unique history, is home to a plethora of lesser-known facts and stories that often slip under the radar. Did you know this city is the birthplace of popular card games like Uno and Spades? Or that it housed its own stock exchange for over a century? There's even an intriguing tale of a cantankerous bull elephant from a local circus that met a rather dramatic end. Cincinnati even played a significant role in the history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now hold on, because that's not all. Just when you think you've heard everything Cincinnati has to offer, there's one more curiosity that, well, you'll hear all about it soon enough. What's up, my amazing and curious folks? This is your host, Caesar, always eager to unravel the mysteries of this fantastic world we live in. And guess who's joining us on this journey today? You've guessed it, it's the ever-analytical, history-loving Sonia.
Hello, everyone. So thrilled to be here, ready to dive into the fascinating curiosities that our world holds.
That's the spirit, Sonia. Now, folks, don't forget to subscribe to the Curiosity Wonderland and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on our daily episodes. Here's a hint, each one is packed full of intriguing facts, surprising stories, and captivating curiosities. Alright folks, it's time to dig a little deeper into the fascinating curiosities that Cincinnati has to offer. Now, Cincinnatians have quite a few stories to share about their beloved city, and some of the most unexpected ones are actually true.
Sounds intriguing. But can you give us an example?
Absolutely. Let's start with the fact that Cincinnati is the cradle of popular card games. This city is home to the United States Playing Card Company, so it's not surprising that games like Uno and Spades were born here. Uno was invented in 1971 by a barber from Reading, Ohio, a suburb of Cincinnati. The game of Spades, on the other hand, is believed to have been created by college students between the years of 1937 and 1939 as a simplified version of contract bridge.
That's really interesting. What else?
Cincinnati's history also tells the tale of a church with an interesting insurance policy. Wesley Chapel, which conducted funeral services for President William Henry Harrison and hosted John Quincy Adams, bought the city's oldest insurance policy from the Cincinnati Equitable Insurance Company. And here's the interesting part, by the 20th century, the policy had paid for itself with the dividends it generated.
And the list goes on, doesn't it?
It sure does, but I think we'll have to leave the rest of these intriguing tales for a bit later. Can't give away all the surprises at once, can we? Let's continue our journey through the intriguing tales of Cincinnati. Now, let's talk about the time when a creamy whip store owner managed to reroute a planned interstate highway. Can you believe that? The proposed route for I-74 would have run just 3 feet away from the back door of Putz's Creamy Whip. The owner wrote a letter to none other than President Richard Nixon, explaining the predicament. Shortly after, she received word that the fence line would be moved back an additional 9 feet.
That's one for the books. But there's more, isn't there?
Oh, indeed there is. Next up, we have the tale of Chief, the cantankerous bull elephant. This bull elephant was a part of John Robinson's circus and had quite the reputation. He had killed at least 2 men and was known for his violent temper. Eventually, the decision was made to send Chief to the Cincinnati Zoo, where his temper remained unchanged. Worried for the safety of other animals, the zoo finally decided it was time for drastic measures. Chief was executed by a firing squad on the 10th of December, 1890.
That's a tragic ending to a fearsome creature.
It certainly is. But enough with the grim tales. Let's move on to something more mysterious. Cincinnati is said to have a mystery tunnel under Roll Hill. While the existence of the tunnel is not up for debate, whether it goes all the way through the hill is. There have even been reports of sightings of a locomotive with a copper boiler and brass bell, supposedly buried when a railroad project was abandoned. Isn't it fascinating how each city has its own array of curious tales and hidden histories? I mean, just think about it, how intriguing it is to dive into these stories and discover such diverse facets of a single location. What about you folks? Are you as captivated by these tales as we are? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. And hit that like button if you're enjoying this journey through Cincinnati's curiosities as much as we are. Let's carry on with our journey through Cincinnati's captivating history. One fact that I find particularly fascinating is the city's influence on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The third edition of the Book of Mormon was printed right here in Cincinnati.
That's amazing. It's impressive how connected everything is, isn't it?
Absolutely. While we are on the topic of impactful events, let me remind you of an event I recently attended. It was a burlesque show, a form of entertainment that originated right here in Cincinnati. According to records, Millie de Leon, known as the Girl in Blue, performed the first striptease at Hughes Opera House in 1901.
Coincidentally, I recently read a book about burlesque history, and Millie de Leon was indeed touted as the first real queen of American burlesque. Her performance at Hughes Opera House not only launched her career but also set a new trend in entertainment.
And did you know that Cincinnati was once referred to as the Paris of America? Particularly between the years of 1880 and 1910, the city was admired for its vibrant art scene, the Cincinnati Symphony, and the success of the May Festival.
I can see why. With all these cultural elements, it's not a stretch to compare it to Paris.
Now, here's a fun fact: before the Civil War, Cincinnati didn't have a garbage removal system. Instead, they relied on pigs roaming the streets to consume any food waste. They had to find a substitute by the 1870s as pigs began to be transported in box cars.
That's one practical way to deal with garbage. I guess every city has its own unique solutions to common problems.
Now, let's dive into some more of Cincinnati's intriguing past. Before the year of 1917, the concept of jaywalking was non-existent in the city. The streets were a hub of activity, with people freely crossing in any direction and even pausing for conversations right in the middle.
That's hard to imagine in the era of heavy city traffic we live in today.
True. But the advent of the automobile began to change things. Despite their top speed being just 10 miles per hour, cars caused enough injuries for manufacturers to shift the blame onto pedestrians. By the 21st of May, 1917, Cincinnati had implemented fines for jaywalking. Moving on, Cincinnati was also home to various secret societies during the late 1800s and beyond. One unique group formed in Cincinnati in 1901 was the It'n'Nick, made up of leading businessmen.
It's fascinating to see how community structures and social groups evolve over time.
Absolutely. Now, a surprising fact about Cincinnati is that it was slow in adopting electricity and natural gas. The Gas, Light and Coke Company, which produced town gas from coal, kept clean-burning natural gas out of the city until 1909.
That's rather late compared to many other cities.
Yes, it is. To end on a lighter note, let me tell you about a peculiar event from Cincinnati's past. In 1868, a year before they turned professional, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, a baseball club, played a game of baseball on ice. The ground had been flooded for use as a skating rink, and the game went on against two other local teams.
Now that's a unique twist on the game. I'm sure that would have been quite a spectacle to watch.
Just to round off the story of the ice baseball game, it seems the Cincinnati Red Stockings were in for a cold surprise. Over 3 chilly innings, the team they were up against, the Picked Nine, made a whopping 31 runs against their 7.
That's a shocker. I suppose playing baseball on ice is a whole different ball game.
Quite literally. But it's these quirks and peculiarities that make the history of Cincinnati so captivating, don't you think?
Absolutely. There's never a dull moment when you're delving into the past.
We've traveled through the thrilling alleyways of Cincinnati's history today, haven't we? From the birth of popular card games and an enduring insurance policy, to a cantankerous bull elephant and a forbidden dance spectacle, it's clear Cincinnati's past is as colorful as it is intriguing. And hey, who knew jaywalking was such a recent phenomenon?
An amazing journey indeed. We hope you've enjoyed this ride through Cincinnati's lesser-known stories as much as we did. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment and share this episode with your friends. Let's spread these fascinating tales far and wide.
And with that, it's time to wrap up today's episode. Keep the curiosity alive, folks, there's always something new to learn.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us today, and until next time, stay curious.
This fascinating journey through Cincinnati's hidden curiosities came from an article titled, Not Just Hearsay, We Present 15 Cincinnati Curiosities with Documented Veracity, on handaux.tumblr.com, published on May 31, 2023. Unfortunately, the author remains anonymous. For those yearning for more detail, check out the full URL in our episode description. Until next time, stay curious.